Hi folks, Dave here, and today I'm going to be going over the Baofeng UV-5R. This is a dual band UHF VHF transceiver, relatively inexpensive, and let's take it over the bench and I'll give you a better look. Okay, this is the Baofeng UV-5R dual band UHF VHF radio. Calls it an ultra compact, and this is the way the radio looks when I received it. This particular one is the high visibility yellow transceiver. Let me open this up for you. And as you can see, it is nice and bright yellow. Inside the package you get the radio. This is your battery. There's your antenna. And up underneath here, this one comes with the optional earpiece. Well, that's not optional. It's an accessory earpiece. There's a microphone on there with a push to talk button. Belt clip. There's the AC charger adapter, and then the charger base. Okay, let me put this guy together here real quick, and I'll get you a little bit better picture of it. Okay, so here's the radio all unboxed, and you can see that the charger base just has a typical AC adapter with a charger base. It does have a charge indicator here. It is a red LED when charging. When it's fully charged, it'll go to green. Now this one's a little unusual that most of these I see don't have this, but there's actually a LED on the adapter itself that will illuminate red, not when it's charging or fully charged, but just to indicate that this is plugged in and has power to it. Okay, let me set that aside. And you have an antenna. There is a wrist strap, pretty insignificant there. Now this one came with a over-the-ear earbud, and there's your microphone is actually on there, and your push to talk. And it's got a little lapel clip. It seems to me the only problem with this out of the box is the little foam gizmo is not on there, and it may be a little difficult to actually get that on there without ripping it. I hope I can. Let's try it. You know, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a teeny tiny hole. I'm really concerned I'm going to tear this trying to get it on there. Oh, almost there. Ah, you sorry thing. Alright, there it is. I managed to get that on there. Overall, I'll have to check. I'll have to test it and see how well it works. I've used the ones that just go in your ear, and they actually work pretty well. I'll have to test this one later. Now the battery pack on these is a slide-in. The release mechanism is here on the top. Okay. Now some of these units, the belt clip comes attached to the battery. I think the OSON comes attached to the battery. I have another one that the belt clip attaches to the radio, like this one, and it came from the factory with the screws in the holes. But the ones that I have had before that connect to the radio were not spring-loaded. So this is kind of a combination. It's a spring-loaded belt clip that attaches to the radio. Now, if you can see, because this is spring-loaded, it may present a challenge to get that on there. However, I have devised a way, and I'll show you this so that it makes it a little easier for you. Let me see if I can zoom this guy in here a little bit. Okay, first thing we need to do is pull these screws off the radio. Alright, so as you can see, I'm going to try to hold this up here where you can see it. There's you almost have to keep tension on this guy here while attempting to get the screw in that hole. So an easier method is to actually install one screw. As you can see here, if I put it like this, that it can be flat, but I will install one screw on the outside, specifically the screw away from that little guy there. You can always put that in there first, then drop that in and tighten her up. There you're going, hey Dave, damn thing's backwards. Okay, now that's not totally tight. So now I can swing this around and notice everything's all lined up. Give this a little bit more of a tightening. Now this one will just drop in and tighten that bad boy right up. Now, if you're permanently going to leave these on here, you might want to think about putting a little dab of blue Loctite if you're going to have it on and off your belt a lot. I probably won't. So now to get the battery in, you just simply put that like that, slide that in, and there you go. Alright, antenna. Simple enough. It's a basic SMA antenna like a lot of these little Chinese radios have. It screws right in there. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and now there's a couple of ways you can put these straps on here. On the OSON radio, the only method you can, if you want to use the strap, is by hooking it through the belt clip. Okay, I have to do that from the top. Poke it down in there a little bit. Okay, there we go. Come on. Okay. Okay, on the OSON radio, that's the only method. Of course, then this goes through that, loops through there. But on this radio, they actually give you a little option on the side, a little hook gizmo on here on the side. One of the reasons I don't particularly like that on the OSON radio is because the belt clip does attach to the battery. So if you have the wrist strap and you take the battery and change your battery, then you don't have another wrist strap unless you go out and buy one. So this one, it will attach directly in here. Let's see, it's a little snug. Let's see if I can get that in there. And there you go. There's your wrist strap. Okay. So let me zoom this guy in here and go over and turn it on, and we'll take a look at it a little closer with the power on. Okay. Okay, so here we go. A little too wide. Let me back this this out here. What you have here is your power on volume. There is a LED here on the top. Your antenna, of course. Okay, on this side you have a call. On this radio, the call actually turns on the FM radio. It would have been better, in my opinion, if you could program this button to like a national call frequency. But alas, all this does is turn on and off the FM radio. Push to talk on this side, and monitor. Monitor would be if you have your squelch turned way up, or you're using a DTMF tone and you want to turn those off temporarily, you can just hit the key and get some good static there. Okay. VFO or memory. Again, you see here I've got some memory. I've got 2 memory channels programmed in. If you hit the VFO memory button, it puts you into the VFO mode where you see the frequencies. Okay. You have a little green receive light. Now you see this popping up here blue. You can program these guys. Let me show you what happens when I push to talk. This one goes red, this one goes orange. Actually, it looks red, but it's internally it says it's orange. Now you can turn this off totally if you want, or you can switch the colors around. There's another color, there's a purple that you can use if you so desire. Okay, let me go back to the memory. Alright, in these memories they have some DTMF tones turned on, that's why they're quiet. This side over here, you have your programming port and your microphone port, or the port for your little earphone gizmo. This one is actually unique. Some of these little ports, you can see they're like they'll have like a pop rivet here, and they spin around. I don't particularly care for those. Some of them have a screw that you take out and this port completely comes off. That's better in my opinion, but then you have to keep up with a loose port cover and a loose screw. This one actually seems to be a better solution, and I'll show you why here. When I plug this in, you already have the thickness of the connector. This really doesn't stick out much more than that connector does. The ones that spin around, they're always poking down here out of in a kind of weird fashion. Okay, so this is a pretty interesting little way to do the port cover. Alright, and you have the A and B switch. I'm going to zoom this back in here. The A and B switch. You can see right here there is a little marker. If I hit the AB, it switches it down. You're literally switching channels back and forth between the upper display and the lower display. And that is this button right here. Okay. Alright, so moving on. You have the band. Go back to VFO mode. You can see here 145/800. That's going to be your VHF band. You hit this little guy here. That says 400. So I'm in the UHF band. Okay. So your band will switch your channels between VHF and UHF when you're in the VFO mode. Now you do have a full keypad if you decide to do DTMF tones. There are some little quick keys on here for programming. See if I can get in here. The menu button, when you hit the menu button, you will see up here at the top that it goes into menu. This number right here will be the memory channel that you're looking at. And you see my squelch. Squelch is on 0. You can up and down through these. 1 is your step, it's set at 5K. Transmit power 2, set at high. Save is number 3, set at 3. Vox 4 is off. Now all of these are all covered in the manual pretty well. If you've ever programmed one of these type of dual band radios, the menu functioning is pretty similar to all of them, and programming is very similar to all the others. And when you're in the memory mode, these first keys here are kind of quick keys, and you can see this has step, Vox, TDR, transmit power, wide narrow, beep, save, ABR, TOT. This is your scan, there's your squelch, and your keyboard lock. So say for example I was wanting to change from my transmit power on a particular frequency. A quick step would be menu. See if I can get this in here. Menu 2. Transmit power relates to 2. Okay. Now all of the other menu functions are covered, like I said, covered in the manual, and you can punch the numbers in. For example, if you wanted to go to 36, you can go menu 36, and you'll see you have a 36 now here. So programming this is very similar to pretty much any other little radio that you have. Pretty straightforward. Nothing particularly complicated about it. Now this radio does come in several different colors. I think it's got a camo color. It's got a black. It's got the typical gray black color. I will be using this radio when I'm out of the vehicle, so I wanted something a little bit more easier for me to see. So that's why I picked that. There's the back. Here's your charger ports, and there's what the bottom looks like. Now some of these guys are a little weird, and you have to be mindful of putting them in the charger base. If you ever had one of these, you'll notice it. There's little slots right here that must line up with the little tabs in here. If you just quickly set this in there, it doesn't line up. You can put it in any way you want, and it'll sit there. But if you want it to charge, you have to get it back here to the very back, so that the little tabs these little tabs line up with the slot. Okay. So there's your quick overview of the Baofeng UV-5R dual band radio, UHF VHF, and my overall opinion is I like it. Now the next couple videos I will go over programming a repeater into the radio using the keypad, and then I'll also show you some of the accessories that can get with it, and the last video I'll do is show you how to program channels and repeaters using the provided software. But that's it for now. I'm Dave, AF5DN. Thanks for watching.